What's up, guys? This is episode 15, the big 1-5 for TwoTroubled. We're here on the podcast. I say we jump right in. We got a little sports news going. We're going to finish our record predictions, and we're going to take you through the playoffs. You know we've been doing that for the last couple of episodes. And we're going to end it with Hater Hotline, Hot Takes, and Mock Trial. And we're ready for a good episode. The big 1-5. So let's get right into the sports news.
Yeah, there was a lot of news that happened in the past couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, we'll go, not a sport that we usually talk about, soccer. Obviously, I think everyone knows by now, Lionel Messi is now on Inter Miami. And in his first game with them, he not only was saucing on the Americans who really don't know how to play soccer, but he scored a walk-off PK in the first game. What an entrance.
Yeah, impressive. I mean, you saw all the stars that were out there. Kim Kardashian and her kids, LeBron James and you know, all the stars that were out there, Tristan Thompson, if you want to call him a star. But, you know, I don't think you can write a better story for Messi's first game in America. PK or a free kick, 94th minute, he drilled it. I think it was a great moment and a great moment for American soccer history. You know, I think they're trying to make a push to make soccer more known in America, and it could be one of the biggest sports. And I think if they can get grounded here, they might have the opportunity to rival maybe like American football, just because I think baseball and basketball, there's too many games. It makes the games unimportant. Where soccer, there's like 30 games a season. So it actually has the capability of like rivaling football that make the games matter. You bring the stars here. Obviously, Inter Miami is now bringing a bunch of not washed, but older, talented players from Europe. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the way Inter Miami and Messi. I don't think you can. I mean, the announcer, Messi. So
We need a little bit of that in America.
A little bit of that
for sure. But moving on, there was some scary news the other day. This just happened a couple days ago. Bronny James, committed to USC, and he was at a practice there at one of the USC facilities, and unfortunately, he suffered cardiac arrest, and he was having to taken out on a stretcher and taken to the hospital. Now, I mean, I've had multiple conversations with some of my friends. I've had the conversation with you, but that's just mind-blowing to me that someone of the caliber of Bronny James, who, obviously LeBron James' son, so he's been very well taken care of his whole life. I'm sure best trainers, best diet, best recovery, all this stuff. And it's crazy to me that something, I don't know if he has an underlying heart condition or something. They haven't released that yet, but that's crazy that if that's the case, that was able to go under the radar with the amount of care and attention Bronny James has had his whole life. That's just crazy.
100%. And I just think it's just complete sad for the whole sports world. I think we were all excited for Bronny James, and now it's just we want to make sure that he's okay to perform. And I think all of us can put the hate aside for a little bit, whether you're a LeBron James supporter or not, and just care for that family, because he is a human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I mean I would assume that he would get back on the court. I mean, all those that basketball runs in their DNA, but it's just it's like you said, it just shows that no matter if you have the best training in the world, or your father is a millionaire, or you have the best genes, you come from one of the most athletic, dads, and you have that genes, it just shows that you can never take life for granted. So, I mean, it's a really sad story, but I think we're all supporting Bronny James. I mean, I've seen over Twitter and Instagram, everyone's sending their love to the James family, which you love to see that.
Yeah, and he has been cleared from the hospital, so he is in good condition now. He's fine. I'm sure that they're going to do some testing, and hopefully we find out in the news what's really going on. Is there any underlying conditions that Bronny James has? We shall see.
Yeah.
Moving along, though, this is a very interesting one for me. Jordan Addison got a pretty massive speeding ticket. He was going 140 miles an hour, got pulled over. He later claimed that he was speeding home because his dog had a medical emergency. So I would love to assume that he's telling the truth here. Seems like it could be a little bit of a cop-out, especially given that there's a clip of Jordan Addison pre-draft saying that his first purchase with NFL money was going to be a fast car, and that he likes driving fast cars and going fast. So it seems a little suspicious for me. A little bit of a Henry Ruggs 2.0 going on, but if your dog was really, really sick or something was going on, I apologize for the comments I've made you are completely right to speed home because I would speed home too as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't think it. I don't know what to think about this situation. Like, your dog did have a medical emergency, but I think that in no way makes it okay to go 140 miles an hour, no matter where you're going. Like, if my dog's name's Zeus, I love him. If he was having a medical emergency, maybe I'm going 20 miles an hour over the speed limit, going 65 in a 45, going 70 in a 45, but 140 miles an hour, you're now putting other people's lives at risk.
Excessive.
It's excessive. You're putting other people's lives at risk, and I get that you love and care for your dog, but you gotta make sure that us humans, are okay and like not gonna crash, and you're not gonna kill somebody. Like Henry Ruggs obviously had a crash going that type of speed, and it's lethal, and I just think that's unacceptable.
Completely agree. Well, I'll let you take over the next couple of news stories.
And now we're talking about some big money, whether it's NBA, NFL. Justin Herbert gets paid 5 years, $262 million.
Love to see it.
Right after that, Jaylen Brown gets paid 5 years, $304 million. Super max extension makes him now both of them, Justin Herbert and Jaylen Brown, both the highest paid players in their sport.
Yeah, that's crazy. I cannot even fathom the amount of money that these guys are making.
Yeah.
I would love to make that money one day. So go hit that subscribe button. Make my dreams come true, man.
But players that are not getting money is the running backs.
No, they are not.
The NFL running backs, had a Zoom meeting to discuss what's happening because Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs, and Saquon Barkley did not ink long-term deals in the NFL.
No,
and
they did not.
I think that running backs the position obviously is being devalued, but I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the future because I think the running back community might unite, but I don't know if it's going to ever force these franchises to hunker down more money.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it in a video previously, but I don't know if there's anything the NFL or anyone can do to really fix this issue. It's not like the NFL can be like, hey, you guys have to pay running backs a minimum of X amount of dollars, right? They can't do that. That can't happen. I don't even know, you said it earlier, I don't know if even raising the salary cap would even fix it because then you're just going to go pay other guys that they'd rather have on their roster. So it's a very interesting topic, conversation, whatever you want to call it, surrounding the running back position as a whole in the NFL right now. Yeah, bit confusing.
You're seeing guys like Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette not sign contracts. I know Dalvin just claimed that he wanted to go to the Jets on a podcast or whatever. I quote, I'm just trying to go through one step at a time, and the Jets right now are at the top of the list, so let's go check that box. So apparently he wants to go play over there. I thought Breece Hall was a good running back over there, but he might have some company in that backfield.
And with someone who actually did get to finally sign to a team, we were waiting a long time. DeAndre Hopkins finally gets signed to the Titans, where all the old receivers go for their careers to die.
Yeah, Julio went there and he lost it, but Andre Johnson back in the day. But I'm excited for DeAndre Hopkins and the Titans. We're going to get to the record predictions. I know that's what the thumbnail and title of this video is. So please stay tuned. But we thought DeAndre Hopkins, no matter what team, might give him an extra win or two if you've been watching the record predictions. So maybe the Titans can bolster a couple of extra wins here with DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I mean, they were a team that was very desperate for the receiver position. So I'm sure if you're Titans fans, you're pretty ecstatic that you're able to finally get you a receiver.
And to round off the sports news, we'll just talk about a couple of these injuries. I know Joe Burrow just had a calf strain. Videos going around. He was limping and got carted off the field.
Yeah.
Seems like it's only going to be a month, so never want to get injured, but it looks like it's not going to impact his NFL season.
Yeah, it was definitely a scary sight. Never
definitely
want to see
scary,
Burrow
especially
going down like that.
with your star quarterback. Mm-hmm. But Jalen Ramsey, he's going to be out till mid-December. Apparently, might be able to return through the season, but he's going to miss a lot of time. And Nyheim Hines is out for the year.
Yeah, and unfortunate. That was not even a football related accident. I think he was skiing and he just got hit. So very unfortunate for Nyheim Hines. Opens the door for James Cook, Dalvin's brother, to maybe take over the lead running back role, but very unfortunate. Prayers up to Nyheim Hines. Hope that recovery process goes well for you.
Yeah, but moving on to everyone's favorite schedule analysis. We have 3 teams planned for you today, and the 4th is we're going to go through all the teams that we have already done. If you haven't, go watch all the episodes. I think we started the schedule analysis on episode 6 or 7. So we're on episode 15, so you got a lot to catch up on. But Packers, Panthers, and Dolphins are the 3 teams we're going to be doing, and then we're going through the playoffs.
Yeah.
So get ready for that.
Yeah. We said fuck all to Siri this time. We decided to pick the teams that were left that were very enticing and very exciting to go through the schedules of. And, of course, Travis needed to get his little Packers schedule in as well.
So let's get right to the Packers schedule. All right, pulling up the Packers here. Week 1 versus Chicago. Jordan Love's home opener. Give me the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I would fight you on this one, but I'll be nice just because it's Chicago. And, the Packers need to renew their ownership over the Bears twice a year. I'll let it slide even though it's Jordan Love's opener. But I kind of think that the Bears might get it done just because it's Jordan Love's first game.
Yeah, I think hopefully Justin Fields has an improved year. Well, not hopefully because I'm a Packers fan, but he may have an improved year. I just think if you look at the Packers defense and they're just core players around, I think it's better than the Bears.
I would 100% agree. 100% agree that you guys do have a better team, but Jordan Love's first game, definitely a question mark. But like I said, I'm not going to argue it. We'll give it to you guys week 1.
Week 2. Packers, Falcons. Tough game here. Oh no.
No. I think Bijan is running it down your guys' throats, man.
You're telling me we're losing to the Falcons.
I think you guys might. I'll give you the rock, paper, scissors on it.
All right, no, it's fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. It's fair. I gave you the win. I think you'd take the win over the Bears versus the Falcons.
I would take the win over the Bears versus the Falcons, but I'm gonna start fighting these if you start rattling off some losses here.
All right.
Week 3 versus the Saints. Give me the Packers. Give me the Packers. Week 3.
We'll do it.
I'm taking the Packers over the Saints. Both have newish quarterbacks. I guess Jordan Love's been there for 3 years, but new starting quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Again, I think the Packers defense is better than the Saints defense. And overall, I think the Saints, yes, Derek Carr's an upgrade from Jameis Winston, but I think we can see the Saints struggle at times. And Derek Carr, even when he was in Vegas this last season, didn't play to the likes of what some people would have wanted.
That is fair. That's fair. I'm good with giving you guys the win in week 3.
Quick turnaround week 4, though.
I'm also good giving you guys the win here versus the Lions.
Really?
Yeah,
just being generous.
Just because you guys are home, I'll let you guys have the
I
benefit
will
of the
say,
doubt.
I'll preface this. I do think we split. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I would say you split with the Lions. That's where I would have you guys at.
Home Thursday night, week 4, Packers win versus the Lions. Yeah. Week 5.
And not to mention you guys were on the short week. So
it's true. Week 5, I'm going to take the Las Vegas Raiders.
Really?
I love Green Bay, but it is Devontae Adams' revenge game.
Oh, that is true. That is very true.
So I can see Devontae Adams, dropping $200 and $1 on us for a touchdown.
$200 and $1. Damn. Yeah. You're really letting him go crazy. But it's Jair going to be strapping him up, no?
Jair would strap him up. That's why he's gonna. He ain't going to Jair's side. You will see Devontae Adams on the left side and left side only because that right side is locked down by the strap man himself, Jair Alexander.
All right, I respect it. I'm not going to argue that. I'll give the Raiders the win there. You guys get a bye week 6, and then because of the bye, and because I don't like the Broncos, we'll give you the win in week 7. Give me the win. Give me the Green Bay Packers over the Broncos here.
I agree. I think Denver's definitely one of these questionable teams. Sean Payton's a new coach, but is that enough to kind of take him out of the slump that they were in last year? Who knows? I think our offense, if not for Sean Payton, as currently, I think our offense might turn out better than theirs just based on how they played last year.
I agree.
Week 8, give me the Green Bay Packers. Again, they think this is a team that we're going to split with. It's the Minnesota Vikings, if you don't know. I think that we split against this team. This team, I think Minnesota's the team that downgraded the most from last year. Last year, they got 13 wins. This year, they lose Dalvin Cook. They lose Adam Thielen, Eric Kendricks. The list goes on. Yeah. Patrick Peterson. So I think they got exponentially worse, and I think that it's going to – not saying that they're worse than Green Bay because I think both teams are around the same level of talent. But I think that they're both going to finish around the same, so I think a split is generous.
Yeah, and we'll give it to you guys because you guys are home that week. So we'll come back around and give it to the Vikings next time. Team that I don't like in week 9, the Rams. The Rams, they're not going to be good this year. I think they're going to be a lot worse than you guys. So I feel pretty confident giving you guys the win here week 9.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident there as well. They just lost Jalen Ramsey, Taylor Rapp. They just completely offloaded half of their guys. Yeah. Really, it's Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp is the only guys that are and Aaron Donald. But Aaron Donald said he might retire, so who knows if he even makes it through the whole season. But week 10, we got Mike Tomlin and the Steelers versus the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go Green Bay. simply because I do think that Kenny Pickett, I'm not sold on Kenny Pickett yet. Najee Harris had a down year last year. Deontay Johnson had a down year last year. No touchdowns all season. So a lot of these guys were hoping that they pick it up, and, it was a fluke year for the Steelers, but I don't know. Some of those guys are not going to pick it up like we think we are, and some of them will, but some of them are downgrading just because they're kind of regressing, and that's where they're going.
Yeah, I think this will be a very, very close, hard fighting game for both sides, I could see that you guys inch out with a win there. I wouldn't put it past you there. So I'm good with that.
Yeah, now here is the tougher part of the Green Bay Packers schedule. Week 11, we got the Chargers. I think it's pretty self-explanatory that Justin Herbert and that wide-out core of Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams is kind of going to be too much for Green Bay in Week 11. In Week 12, we already said that they would split versus Detroit. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory there. And Detroit swept us last year, so maybe they could do that again, but I think a split is reasonable. But Week 13,
I don't think there's any questions here. I think this is pretty easily going to the Kansas City Chiefs, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Don't really need to say too much. The reigning Super Bowl champions coming down to a fresh quarterback who, we'll see. I would assume by Week 13, he's a pretty seasoned guy. He's gotten the hang of what the NFL is like. But I don't think it's going to be enough against the Kansas City Chiefs.
No, unfortunately. I mean, these are the reigning Super Bowl champions, and you're going against a team like Green Bay who kind of has question marks at the best position that you would need to not have a question mark at. Yeah. So that's not what you want to see. Yeah. But Week 14, I'm going to go the New York Giants.
I was going to say the same thing. I'm glad you thought that.
I think Green Bay struggles against the run a little bit, and this is not a team you really want to play when you're struggling against the run. I know we picked up a couple guys like Luke Van Ness that might help out, the run a little bit, but I think Saquon Barkley and the Giants proved that they're a team that can win games. Last season, they made the playoffs, and they won a playoff game versus Minnesota.
Yeah.
So I think the Giants, that defense is pretty elite too with Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau. So
I will add to you there. I don't want to bring up old bad memories for you, but the Giants did beat you guys last year, and I don't think the Giants got that much better, but I think you'd be lying to yourself if you would say that the Packers got better from last season.
I agree.
You lost your starting quarterback. He took a bunch of his guys with him. So there's a big question mark, and I think I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Giants here.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I think we struggle against that run game, and that's not a team that you really want to struggle against. And they have dogs. They made the playoffs last year, so that's not a team that you can overlook. Week 15, a team that you can't overlook, though, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I'm going to give it to Green Bay.
Yeah, I won't argue here at all. I think that Tampa Bay is going to finish dead last in the whole NFL, so totally good with that.
Week 16, though, I'm a little back and forth here. I think that maybe Miles Sanders and Bryce Young is enough to pull it out, but then again, I think that they do lack the playmaker side on the offense, so I think I would go Green Bay. I want to hear your thoughts here, though.
I don't know. I think I'm going to go Panthers here, and I'll explain my reasoning. I think by Week 16, I think Jordan Love will be experienced in the NFL just as much as Bryce Young will be in the NFL. And Bryce Young was taken as the first quarterback for a reason. I think that he's going to be a great quarterback in the league. We talked about it on multiple videos. I mean, he's a great playmaker. He can extend plays. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball. He can do it all.
Yeah.
Although I would agree with you, I think the Panthers don't have the weapons that you guys might do on offense. But I think Miles Sanders is going to have a monster season. You said it earlier. The Panthers, or you guys are not great against the run, and I think Miles Sanders might be able to get it done against you guys.
He did finish 5th in rushing yards last season, but that was behind that massive Eagles O-line, so he's going to have a new offensive line that maybe he might make it a little bit harder. But
that is true.
As always, I think we might need to pull out a nice rock paper scissors match here. I feel like that's always a genuine thing to do when we
maybe we do. All right, I'll take you up on this rock, paper, scissors match. Fine.
I think it's everyone's favorite thing, We both go rock, paper, scissors. I've been in your head a couple times. You've gotten me a good amount.
I have. Let's
see. I think we do it. You ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, both scissors.
Oh, I thought you was going to go paper.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yes! Oh! Yes, give it to the Panthers.
Carolina, Week 16, beating Green Bay.
But hey, you guys have a winning record. You guys actually do better than you did last year. So, I mean, that's all you can ask for with a brand new starting quarterback this year.
Exactly. Week 17, Give me the Minnesota Vikings. I think we split against them. Kirk Cousins, I get that they lost Dalvin Cook, but Kirk Cousins is still a good quarterback, and I think and Justin Jefferson's there. I think he can push them to a good 9-10 win season maybe in Minnesota.
Yeah, and I apologize for getting ahead of myself. We had already said that you guys were splitting with the Vikings, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the win and let you guys continue the ownership of the Bears. That was just in my head.
If anybody doesn't know, I think that some people forget. The ownership of the Bears is passed down from generation to generation in Green Bay quarterbacks. Brett Favre had ownership. Bart Starr had ownership. In the 80s, we didn't really have a decent quarterback, so, let the 85 Bears do their thing. But Bart Starr to Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, and I think Aaron Rodgers might be passing the torch now to Jordan Love, so I think he might have to go twice a year, collect his ownership against the Bears. It's just how it is. I get 2018, the Bears won the division. Okay, 1 year. Other year, we collect our ownership.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be that tall of a task when the Bears are as dog shit as they are right now.
But as you guys already know, it's probably already down there. Packers finishing at 9-8. 9-8. What a way to start your first season with Jordan Love. A win better than they were last year with Aaron Rodgers. Now I get Aaron Rodgers had his worst season of his career, but for some quarterbacks, that's good. That's a good season to have.
Hey, that's what we finished last year, man. So I wouldn't be complaining if I were you at all.
But moving right to the second team, we said we got the Carolina Panthers, and we've already done a couple of their predictions. I know we just had Green Bay versus Carolina, which I unfortunately lost my rock, paper, scissors.
I'm very sorry.
But let's get right into it. Week 1, they play Atlanta. I'm going to give it to the Panthers.
I'm also going to give it to the Panthers. I think this is honestly might be the weakest division in all of football this year.
Yeah.
So I'm totally fine giving it to the Panthers. I actually think I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think the Panthers are winning this division without a shadow of a doubt. But we'll continue.
I think it's between them and New Orleans, which is funny because they do play New Orleans week 2.
They do indeed.
I'm going to give it to New Orleans. I know that Carolina's at home. I do think they'll split, and I think this might be a split on the road.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
I think that Bryce Young is still young, and Derek Carr, he's a veteran guy. Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, I think should be back. He's always iffy about where he's going. But I think the Saints and Panthers are going to be fighting it out for the division. I personally do think that the Panthers are going to win by a game or two, but they're going to finish 8-9. So it's not 8-9, 9-8, whatever you want to say. But I do think that the Saints will get it. Week 3, though, they do play
my Seattle Seahawks. If you haven't seen the podcast yet where we did the Seahawks schedule, we already did it. So we have the Seahawks winning week 3. I think you might have debated me on this one, and I might have rock, paper, scissored you to win this game here.
You might have. If you want to go see that, though, just click on the thumbnail with the Seattle Seahawks saying record predictions. Week 4, they play the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings. Again, young team in Carolina. Playing a veteran team. Yes, they lost some guys, but they're still a skeleton of what they were last year.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe losing those guys doesn't hurt Kevin O'Connell and Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings, but I would assume if you lose all that talent, it's going to hurt. But hey, who knows? So I'm going to give it to Minnesota.
I'm good with that.
Week 5, though, I think they're going to follow up with a weird win against Detroit, though.
I do think so as well. I think that by this time, 5th week in the NFL for Bryce Young, I think he will be more acclimated to what the NFL is like. And I think he was the number 1 pick for a reason. Let's be honest with ourselves here. I think that he's going to get it done week 5 against the Lions, who are not the greatest team in the league, not the worst team in the league, but pretty above average, maybe a mid team there. But I'm very confident that they'll get it done week 5.
I do think Detroit's the one team that's like so inconsistent where they'll go... they're so inconsistent where they'll go and beat a team like Kansas City and then follow it up the next week and then lose a team to like Chicago.
Yeah.
So I think Detroit is definitely going to win some games that they shouldn't and lose some games that they shouldn't. So I'm going to give it to Carolina there.
Agree with you. And I think that another maybe surprising win here for the Panthers, week 6. I have them beating the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I'll have them beating the Miami Dolphins as well. Jalen Ramsey goes down. That's going to hurt them. And again, just like the narrative of last year, Tua's health. Week 6, we're well into the NFL season at this point. And I think this was the time of the year where he was kind of struggling with his injuries, and maybe we see that again. I do think Miami has the better roster with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, but don't count out these guys in Carolina. They're gritty. They're, no offense, gritty, but they're gritty. You got guys like Jeremy Chin and Brian Burns who are dogs, and they're like undervalued and not like looked at like stars because they don't have that big name people like you would want to have, like a Micah Parsons. But Brian Burns is a very good edge rusher.
Yeah, no, I think that the Panthers defense is going to be very heavily overlooked this year.
Yeah. Week 7 is a bye, so going right into week 8. Houston taking on Carolina. Both teams coming off a bye. I'm going to take Houston, weirdly, because I think that Carolina has a better roster. But I personally, my opinion, I think CJ Stroud is a better pro-style quarterback than Bryce Young. And by week 8, I think both of the players are going to be, well versed in their teams. And I could see Houston pulling out a win here.
I definitely agree with you there. I'm also, my opinion. CJ Stroud is a better quarterback in my eyes than Bryce Young is.
You have to preface it with my opinion.
Yeah.
Some people come at you like we're trying to actually spit facts, but they're all opinions at the end of the day.
I was also just mocking you, just slightly. Sorry. But I agree. I have the Houston Texans beating the Panthers week 8. 100%. And then again, it's another battle of the rookie quarterbacks in week 9. We got the Colts taking on the Panthers. Bryce Young versus Anthony Richardson. What are your thoughts?
Bryce Young gets it done. He lost against the other rookie quarterback in CJ Stroud. I think he wins this one.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson. I do think out of all the rookie quarterbacks, I think Anthony Richardson's in the best situation. Jonathan Taylor, that good O-line. They still have Michael Pittman, maybe not the best receiving core, but I do think that Indy is the best situation as a quarterback. But Bryce Young, I think, is clearly better than Anthony Richardson or pro ready. I think Anthony Richardson's a little bit more of a project, so I can see Bryce Young winning week 9.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think that although Anthony Richardson's in the better position, I definitely could see the Carolina Panthers sneak in a win here week 9.
Week 10, battle of the big trade this offseason. Chicago had the first overall pick, traded it to Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Carolina's going to end up winning that game just because, Chicago didn't really get better. They lost the first round pick. They had to go all the way down. When you're the first overall pick, you want to use it to help benefit your team.
100%.
Yes, they got a lot of talent out of that. They traded for Chase Claypool earlier in the year. They got DJ Moore and they got a bunch of picks for next season, but I don't think that's a direct improvement to this year. So give me Carolina week 10.
I agree. Week 11. I'm going to give it to the Cowboys here. I don't think we need to talk too much. I think the Cowboys, if you haven't seen our top 5 contenders and top 5 pretenders yet, go check that out because we have the Cowboys as one of the contenders this year at the 5 spot. So I'm going to go ahead and give the Cowboys the win over the Panthers here.
Yeah, week 12, they go to Tennessee, and I'm going to give it to the Tennessee Titans. Yeah. I think that they're going to control the time of possession in that game. Derrick Henry with a new DeAndre Hopkins. I think that might be a tough match with all those stars. I get Tennessee is not what they used to be when they were getting 13 wins a year, but I think Tennessee, Derrick Henry is going to control the time of possession there. And when you have the ball for most of the game, you can expect to probably win and control the game and make the game go how you would want.
I agree. I think week 13.
I'm going to give it to Tampa.
Actually, you know what? I was going to give it to the Panthers, but Tampa Bay's got to win some games.
They got to win some games, and I think that a rookie quarterback might be the best opportunity to sneak a win. They still, I get that they lost Tom Brady. They went 8-9 last year, losing the GOAT, and now you got Kyle Trask or Baker Mayfield as your starting quarterback. But let's not forget, Rachaad White is a decent running back.
Yeah,
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin might be one of the better receiving duos in the league. And they still got Devin White, Levante David, Shaq Barrett on that defense, Carlton Davis. So I think that they might not, obviously they're not going to go 8-9, but they might get a couple surprising wins, maybe finish with 5 or 6 wins on the year. Week 14, though, we already said that the Saints and Panthers were going to split. So that's going to be a Panthers win there. Week 15, another Panthers win there. Week 16, we're just going to keep going.
Yeah, we're just rattling them off right now.
The last rock, paper, scissors game that I lost, they're going to beat Green Bay in week 16. Tucker ended up getting the rock, paper, scissors win there. Week 17, I don't know, Jags, Panthers?
Oh. We had it selected in a previous week, but now that I'm looking at it again, I kind of want to switch it and give the Jags the win here.
I agree. We did have the Panthers beating Jacksonville earlier in another record prediction, but After seeing those Calvin Ridley highlight tapes, I'm kind of starting to move up on where I think the Jags are going to finish this year. So I'm okay switching it to Jacksonville there. And then week 18, giving the Panthers the win versus Tampa. You're not going to lose to Tampa twice in the year.
Hell no.
I feel like that's pretty obvious. But that'll finish them off at 9-8.
Yeah.
With a winning record a little bit better than I thought. I thought they were going to be around the 8 or 7 win mark, but still winning the division. Yeah. I think 9-8 in this division is going to be clearly good enough to win.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would have been plenty last year. The losing record Buccaneers won it last year. So I think that, yes, the Panthers... I mean, I guess it's up in the air between the Saints and the Panthers, but I think that it definitely should go to the Panthers here.
100%. And now looking at the last team, the Miami Dolphins, before we go in. Predict the record predictions. Go in and predict who's going to win the Super Bowl by going through each game as we have all our record predictions here. Week 1.
Give me the Dolphins.
Give me the Dolphins. I'm fine with that. I know Tua will for sure be healthy.
He will definitely be healthy in this game. I can't say for after the first snap of offense that they play if he'll be healthy, but we know we could get one guaranteed full play out of Tua Tagovailoa
100%.
Before he may or may not get hurt again.
Week 2, I'm going to go New England. I think they split. New England, maybe they go sign a running back, but I think that coach and Bill Belichick, I think they are going to muster. I don't think they're getting anywhere below 6 or 7 wins. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they're definitely going to get a couple of games just based on that defense. New England always has a top defense with Bill Belichick at the helm.
I agree. And then week 3, the Dolphins are going to be going to play. Or no, sorry, the Broncos are going to be coming to Miami to play the Dolphins. And let me hear what you think. But I have the Broncos coming in and giving the Dolphins a loss at home.
I agree. I think Sean Payton, especially early in the first 4 weeks, is definitely going to be in his bag. He took a year off from coaching, and now he's coming back. I think he's going to have some tricks up his sleeve, especially early on before his players actually get accustomed to the system. I think the first 4 weeks you're going to have to come with some surprises just to win you a couple games because, your quarterback is not going to be completely comfortable with the audibles and all that. So you're going to have to come with some good plays. So I could see Denver winning a couple games early.
Yeah, and then week 4, I have the Dolphins splitting with the Bills here.
Yeah, so I say give the Bills the one at home.
Yeah, give the Bills 4. Exactly what I was thinking. Give the Bills the one win now. We can go later down the line whenever we see the Bills game again. We'll give the Dolphins the win.
Week 5, give me the Miami Dolphins versus the New York Giants.
I agree.
I don't feel like there's much that needs to be said. I just think playmaker-wise, explosiveness-wise, Miami just way surpasses the New York Giants.
Yeah, but a record we literally just did 5 minutes ago. Week 6, the Panthers versus the Dolphins. We actually gave the Panthers the upset win over the Dolphins here.
And I do agree. I think week 6, as bad as I don't want to predict people's injury, you do have to question Tua's health at that point. But I think the Panthers are going to surprise some people. I think some people were kind of down on them because they had the number 1 overall pick, and people forget that they didn't. They traded the first pick. They were at pick 9 or pick 10 down there at the bottom, but they came and they traded up and they got their quarterback of the future with Miles Sanders, with Adam Thielen, with Terrence Marshall, with DJ Chark. So they have players on that offense. And as we said earlier, they got players on the defense. So I'm fine getting a Panthers upset.
I'm totally fine with that too, but I don't think it's going to be nearly enough to take down the monsters, the NFC champs, the Philadelphia Eagles in week 7.
I agree.
I think along with Tua's injury proneness, if that's a word, but it is now, I think that the Eagles, regardless of Tua's injury or not, I think the Eagles would just get it done swimmingly.
Yeah, I'm going to go week 8 straight to it. We said they'd split versus New England, so that's pretty... Already talked about that. Week 9 versus Kansas City in Germany. Both teams going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, the Tyreek Hill revenge game.
And I think he's going to end up winning his revenge game.
I agree. Give me the upset.
I do think that the Chiefs are one of the best teams in the league, but you can't win every game. They did only have 12 or 13 wins last year, so obviously they lost 3 to 4 games.
Yeah.
So I think that Tyreek Hill is definitely going to come in with a different motivation, and they have the players like Jalen Waddle to get it done, the speed on that team. And the Chiefs don't have one of the best defenses in the league. Their defense is good, but they don't have one of the better defenses in the league. So containing Jalen Waddle, containing Tyreek Hill is going to be a tall task.
100%. So I'm with you. You're with me, I guess. We both got the Kansas City Chiefs taking an L there. Week 10 is a bye for the Dolphins, but then they come back with what would be an easy matchup. But unfortunately, the Dolphins come out of the bye week and lose to the Raiders.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams, they have some studs to rival Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So I'm fine giving the Raiders the win there. Week 12, Jets at home. I guess I'm going to take the Jets.
Yeah, I'll take the Jets here as well.
I think that this division is going to be there's going to be a lot of splits within this division, so we'll see what happens. But now I think this is where the Dolphins go on their run late in the year. Maybe Tua got hurt. Who knows? But I think this is where they go on the run. This will probably be around the time Jalen Ramsey comes back. So I think we're going to start off with the win versus Washington.
Yep, no arguments there.
Move right into week 14. Start off with another win or second win versus the Tennessee Titans.
I agree. Continue it.
Right to week 15. We said they split versus the Jets, which means there's a win in week 15 versus the Jets.
Yup.
Week 16, I think the slow-paced Cowboys offense might not score enough points with this fast-paced, speedy Miami offense. So I'm going to give Miami a 4-game win streak into week 16. And I'm going to continue it. Week 17, I think they're going to get the win versus Baltimore. I think Baltimore definitely has Odell and Zay Jones, so they're a lot better offensively than they were last year. But I think this is the battle of the injury-prone quarterbacks, and I just like that Tua can sit in the pocket and pick you apart, and Lamar Jackson definitely has to rely on his legs, which I feel like might make him more injury-prone.
Yeah.
But I think that defense, if Jalen Ramsey comes back, you got Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, Bradley Chubb, Christian Wilkins. I think that this defense can be really powerful this next season and be one of the better defenses in the league.
I agree.
So I think that... Oh, you can keep going.
No. You finish your statement. I'm so sorry.
I was just so excited to cap them off on a 6-game win streak.
Yeah, well, we had already said it earlier. They're splitting with the Bills.
Yeah.
So there you go. Dolphins splitting with the Bills. I think we had them splitting with the Jets. And I'm pretty sure we also... had them splitting with the Patriots as well. Yeah. We do. We do
bunch of splits on that team there. But I think that 10-7 is right where they would be. You know, that's kind of where they were last year. Tua got hurt, so maybe, he's back. They did get Jalen Ramsey was their big addition. He gets hurt, so that kind of sets them back a little bit. But
I think it's fair for them.
I think that's right where they would be. That 6-game win streak at the end of the season is much needed to kind of push them into the playoffs. Yeah. I think that 10-7 might get them into the 7th seed, especially in the AFC, because the AFC is going to be tough to get into the playoffs this year.
I agree. It's a very strong AFC now, especially with Aaron Rodgers joining that side.
Oh, yeah. So now we have our record predictions done. We have the whole AFC, which if you're wondering how all these teams got there, go back and watch previous podcasts. Bengals at the 1 seed, Chiefs at the 2 seed, Jags at the 3 seed, Bills at the 4 seed, Ravens at the 5 seed, Chargers at the 6 seed, and the tiebreaker goes to the Jets at the 7th seed over the Dolphins.
Wow, they sneak in.
On the NFC side, why don't you take us through who made the playoffs 1 through 7 through our record predictions?
I think myself and you are both going to be very happy at the predictions here, but we got the Eagles as the 1 seed, the 49ers as your 2 seed, the Lions as your 3 seed, winning a weaker division there. Panthers winning their division, also
even
a weaker division.
Yes.
Cowboys, unfortunately, because of the strength of their division, they got the wild card, but they still make the playoffs at the 5 seed. Then we have my Seahawks, and then I'll let you announce your 7th.
At the 7th seed, we have the Green Bay Packers. Definitely, if they were on the AFC with the strength on that AFC teams, they definitely wouldn't make the playoffs. But in the NFC, there's a struggle for teams. Minnesota got a whole lot worse. Maybe it's a little biased that I have the Packers at 9-8. I think they finished, getting them the 7th seed. But I think this team with Rashawn, people forget, we were very injured last year. Rashawn Gary, who was in the race for Defensive Player of the Year, completely out, tore his ACL. And I get he's coming back from an ACL injury, so maybe he's not what he was. But I say we go right through it. AFC, first game would be the number 2 seeded Chiefs taking on the number 7 seeded Jets.
We don't need to say too much. Give me the Chiefs. No biggie here.
Give me the Chiefs. Chiefs are going to win that game. I think Aaron Rodgers pushed the Jets into the playoffs, but I think that's about where they're going to cap off there.
Yeah. I love this next matchup, though, on the AFC side. The rematch from last year.
Jaguars at the 3 seed versus the 6 seeded Chargers.
Can the Chargers actually hold on to a lead if they get out to a lead on this one? I don't know. Because I think the Jaguars got even better now that they get Calvin Ridley back. I'm still giving it to the Jaguars.
I'm going to switch up and give it to the Chargers.
Really?
I think Kellen Moore calling the offensive plays is going to be one of the biggest improvements from an offensive standpoint for the Chargers. They get Quentin Johnson. Keenan Allen is hopefully going to be fully healthy. He got a little injured last year, but I say we pull out a rock, paper, scissors match.
Motherfucker.
Chargers moving on.
Actually, I can't even be upset about it. Let's go Herbie. Go Herbie. Come on now.
Come on.
You
Herbie
see it.
right there. Both of them. There's two of them. Oregon and the Chargers. So Chargers finally maybe hold on to a lead versus the Jaguars, but here we have Bills, Ravens. Bills at home.
Oh, this is such a toss-up for me.
I don't think it's a toss-up for me. I'm going Baltimore.
Okay, that's who I was leaning towards as well.
Look at last season. The Bills played the Bengals in the second round. They lost by 17. Maybe I'm a Josh Allen hater, but I think the Bills can't win big games, and that's just my thing. I don't think they're built for that. I think they're built for high-flying highlights in the regular season, but when it comes down to playoff time, you saw 2 years in a row they lost to the Chiefs. Now they lose to the Bengals in the second round, and I think they're going to get even worse losing in the first round to Baltimore. Who has Lamar Jackson, Odell, and Zay Flowers just revamp that offense?
All right, should we go do the first round of the NFC side now?
I say we finish off this AFC.
Oh, finish it off. Get a champion here.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's get an AFC champion going. This means we will have the Chiefs versus the Ravens.
Oh.
The 2 versus 5 seed.
Wow, this is going to be a good matchup. But I can't doubt Patrick Mahomes.
I can't do it. Patrick Mahomes is going to go to his what seems like 6th or 7th consecutive AFC championship at this point. But who's going to be meeting him up? We got the 1-seeded Bengals hosting the 6-seeded Chargers.
Oh, I hate to just be these guys, but I think it's so obvious. We're going to get the Chiefs-Bengals rematch that everyone wants to see in the AFC Championship.
For the third time in a row, it's going to be Bengals-Chiefs in the AFC Championship, or Bengals-Chiefs in the playoffs of some sort. So I'm going to give it to the Bengals. So now your AFC rematch is the Bengals and Chiefs. Third time we've seen it now. I'm giving it to the Bengals.
I also am giving it to the Bengals this time.
I'm glad we agree. Glad we agree.
We had the not the Chargers. The Chiefs are currently down 1-3 to the series versus the Bengals. So I think that kind of shows you what exactly happens when these two teams play each other. Give me Joe Burrow and the Bengals, baby.
Yeah, and I think the Bengals had kind of control of that last AFC Championship game until the unforeseen penalty pushing Patrick Mahomes out of bounds. But I think the rematch here, we're going to get the Bengals. I think the Chiefs lost a little bit of talent on the offensive side. Now it's still Mahomes, and it doesn't really matter, I guess, who's at the receiver position, whether they lost Juju or McCole Hardman. But yeah. I think the Bengals are just I think they're the better pick here in my eyes.
I agree. I agree.
Who will be the NFC champion playing the Bengals in the Super Bowl? We have the 2-seeded 49ers versus the 7th-seeded Packers.
I'm not going to give my opinion just yet.
You're going to hold it off and see what I'm seeing?
It's
Packers, Niners. We've seen it 4 times, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love. I don't think it matters. I think Green Bay sneaking into the playoffs was a win in their season in itself, but I think the 49ers are going to win this game handily.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe if you guys played the Panthers or Lions, I could see you guys sneaking off a W, but literally just because it's the 49ers, the bane of your existence in the playoffs,
yes,
I have to give it to the Niners here. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but 3 versus 6, you got Lions, Seahawks.
I also let you handle this because I don't even want to say anything. You take it over, man.
I think this is the biggest game here. I think obviously the 4 versus 5 Panthers Cowboys is going to be pretty self-explanatory. So this is the closest game on the NFC side is Lions Seahawks. We had the Lions winning in their record prediction versus the Seahawks before. I don't know if Geno Smith is going to be able to recreate his season, but it is the Lions, and the Lions will always be the Lions. So I'm going to give it to Seattle.
Yes, we get a playoff win, baby.
Seattle getting a playoff win. I think that they just have a more complete team than Detroit. And as we said, Panthers Cowboys is pretty self-explanatory. The Cowboys are going to handle that. Leaving Eagles Seahawks.
I'll come back down to earth, guys. We're not the biggest bird in the NFC. Give it to the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles are going to win that game.
That hurt.
Yeah, the Eagles are probably going to run through the NFC here.
Yeah.
Niners versus Cowboys, a rematch of last year.
goes the same way as it did last year.
I think it does go to the same way. If Brock Purdy can come back with this elbow injury and come back healthy, I think the Niners, you saw it last year, are just the more complete team.
Mm-hmm.
Dak Prescott is not built to beat top-tier defenses.
Yeah.
So we're going to have another rematch. Eagles-Niners.
I guess we're not that out there with our picks because we literally just copy and pasted the championships from last year. But I do think that's how it's going to be.
The Eagles got completely better. The Niners, maybe Trey Lance, if Brock Purdy cannot come back, I might take the Cowboys, but I would assume he would come back through next year. Mm-hmm. I just think the Eagles, again, are too much for the Niners.
Yeah, I think even with a fully healthy Brock Purdy or a fully healthy Trey Lance, no matter how you slice it up, no matter how you look at it, the Eagles are just such a complete team, like you said.
Yeah.
They were already a Super Bowl contender. I mean, they were literally one drive away from winning the Super Bowl last year. It's not like they got blown out or anything. I'm giving it to the Eagles. They got better, and they were in the Super Bowl last year.
No, yeah. So that leaves Eagles-Bengals is your Super Bowl matchup. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's exactly who I was going to take. I think Jalen Hurts is coming back this year with an absolute chip on his shoulder. He looks like a winner to me.
Yeah.
He took that Super Bowl loss personally, and I don't think there's no doubt in my mind that he will not be going to get a ring. Jason Kelce will be matching his brother with rings now. 2 rings for Jason, 2 rings for Travis. Maybe Jason Kelce retires after this year.
Yeah.
After winning. I don't know.
My reason on picking the Philadelphia Eagles over the Cincinnati Bengals is late in the season, December, January football. I guess the Super Bowl will be in February, so February type football. Run games really win you championships.
That is
controlling the ball, controlling the time, controlling the clock. As I love Cincinnati's high-powered, can score whenever they want with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, I think the Philadelphia team with that run game, Jalen Hurts, now to have DeAndre Swift, Kenneth Gainwell, and Rashad Penny, I think that they're going to control the clock, and it's really going to be they win the time of possession by 10 to 15 minutes. I think Philadelphia, not including the defense that they have, which is probably going to finish as a top 5 defense in the league, is going to be one of the best teams in the league at controlling the clock, and that run game is going to prove to make them the best team in the league come January and February.
100% agree. I couldn't have said it any better myself.
Oh, yeah. But there's your schedule prediction. We've been working on this for, 2 months now, and you finally got it. The Eagles, according to TwoTroubled, are your fantasy or
football. NFL football.
Well, in our fantasy world.
Yes.
In our fantasy world, they're the champions. Cincinnati's going to be the runner-up. But, I mean, what do we have to say? I think we hear about some other people and given reasons to their teams. So I think we take some calls. Some cold calls.
I agree. What a segue, Trav.
Thank you.
I think we got a caller, so let's cut to the caller right now.
We're here on cold calls. We might be getting a call from a TwoTroubled fan.
Indeed, we are. I've been seeing some comments down in some of the videos from this guy. He's AJ. AJ is his name, and I think he's a Cowboys fan by the looks of his comments. So this is going to be an interesting one, guys.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for this one. I always love talking trash to some Cowboys fans, so I'm ready for him to give us a call, and we'll see what happens.
Oh,
we're getting a call.
I think we're getting a call here, guys. Here, let's just... Yeah, that's definitely a call. All right, let's pick it up. Hello, caller. Is this AJ?
This is.
Oh my gosh, we have the Cowboy fan in the flesh. I've been seeing some of the comments you've been leaving on the videos, so talk to me. Big Cowboy fan, apparently, huh?
Yeah, you guys are dogging on my boys, and I need to confront you guys about that.
Oh, well, you're here with us. You are more than welcome to confront us right here, right now, sir.
All right. So I'm going to start off with, I think, what would you guys have the boys ranked in the NFC?
Maybe like 3rd or 4th behind the Eagles, Niners.
I would even put the Seahawks above the Cowboys right now.
Okay, here's the bullshit. Here's the fucking bullshit.
What are you talking about? I don't think that's bullshit. I feel like that's a pretty fair assessment, you know?
All right, let me break it down for you, because the boys are winning the bowl this year. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to start it off. But let me break it down. So the Cowboys only got better this offseason. Would you guys agree?
I mean, losing Kellen Moore is going to be a big hit to your offense.
And no more Zeke. Your precious fat Zeke is no longer with you guys.
first of all, was a bum.
He was a bum.
Going to be better this year. And let's see, we lost Dalton Schultz and Noah Brown. Big whoop. All right? Who did we get? We got Brandon Cooks and freaking Stephon Gilmore.
I will say that Stephon Gilmore was a pretty valuable addition for you guys, yes.
But now we have the best cornerback duo in the league.
Whoa.
Who would you guys put above us?
Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed.
Bum.
Tariq Woolen and the rookie Devin Witherspoon I'd put above them as well.
Witherspoon was just holding out. So,
hey,
motherfucker.
He was at practice today though, no? Come on, you saw I know you're a Seahawk fan at heart. I just know you saw the clips.
I have. He hasn't proved anything.
So where do you have the Cowboys finishing? Best in the NFC?
I think so, because if you look at it, the Eagles lost a lot of starters, or they lost a few starters. They lost more than the boys. Basically what I'm saying, the Eagles got worse, and the Cowboys got better, and we split with the Eagles last year. We're a better football team than the Eagles.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe you guys did split with the Eagles, but that was without Jalen Hurts on the other side of the football there.
Oh yeah, and then when they beat us, that was without Dak Prescott.
You got a point there, but can you where did the part I got a little caught up on there was where did the Eagles lose a bunch of starters at?
They lost some players. They lost more players than us. I don't know.
I know they lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but outside of that, I don't know what players they lost that were that detrimental.
That we lost. It really is at the end of the day. It really is. And then I'm gonna transition over to the 49ers, who you guys have in front of us also.
Okay.
I don't know how you guys can trust that the 49ers will have anybody playing quarterback for them next season. I don't know how.
I mean, at least they'll have a guy who didn't throw as many picks as Dak Prescott did last season.
That's fair. Dak's pick numbers are going to go down. I guarantee you that. I'll do a free bet of the week if Dak's pick numbers don't go down next season.
I would love to take you up on that offer, but I also would like to say I've been seeing some clips from training camp of Dak throwing some atrocious picks already against second-team defense.
I've seen it too.
Okay. You got to be honest here, though. Come on.
I'll break it down. I'm assuming you're talking about the one to Dylan Tolbert. It was the ball down the sideline. And Dak threw it a little bit, but it's training camp. You got to get Jalen Tolbert's a guy that's struggling with confidence late because he had a horrible rookie season. I think he's just trying to give Jalen Tolbert a chance, and it's just practice. I think that's how you got to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I hear your argument for sure. I just don't know if Dak is truly a good enough quarterback to take you guys to the Super Bowl. Like, kind of similar, gives me a similar vibe to the Seahawks where, I'll be honest with my team. I think we have a lot of great skill positions around Geno Smith, but is Geno Smith really a guy who's going to go out and ball and really win important games in the playoffs down the road? I don't know. I don't think he is, but, I would like to think that we'll win some playoff games, but I truly don't think Geno is that guy, and that's kind of how I see Dak Prescott right now.
The way I look at it, the Cowboys have been a top 3 offense the past three seasons.
With Kellen Moore.
That's fine. We're gonna see how it goes with Mike, big old Mike, who won a Super Bowl, by the way, calling plays. So let's not forget that. And he's got a better quarterback than he did then. So let's make that straight.
Are you saying that Dak Prescott is better than Aaron Rodgers? Prime Aaron Rodgers, might add.
I'm just playing.
Okay, good.
Okay. Because I know you do remember 2 playoff games, Cowboys against Packers.
I don't remember.
You don't. You might be blocking it out because I think you remember that Des dropped that ball.
Oh, my gosh. This is something you don't want to get into. I don't want to get into this one. But I think if Dak just gets hot at the right time, anyone is capable of winning a Super Bowl. It's just about getting hot at the right time, and I think he's more than capable.
So, you think your Dallas Cowboys are winning a Super Bowl? I need it confirmed right here, right now.
Of course.
It's a typical Cowboy fan is what I'm hearing. Every year, right? Every year you've thought that, right?
What? Oh, yeah, of course. You wouldn't be a true fan if you didn't think so.
Last year, I'm a Seahawk fan. I'll sit here and I'll be honest. Like, there was no way in hell last year the Seahawks were winning the Super Bowl, but I would still consider myself a true fan. I'm trying to be honest here.
You got to believe.
Earlier on this podcast, I've said that I would take Caleb Williams right now, today, over Dak Prescott. How do you feel about that?
I think that is just blasphemy. Caleb Williams hasn't played a down in the NFL. And Dak Prescott has had the NFL's best offense in 3 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, so did Cooper Rush, though. Let's not forget that.
Oh, my gosh. Look up the numbers, Trav. We averaged like 13 points a game when Cooper Rush started. I just think we see Dak Prescott. We've seen his upside. I just don't think he's the guy to get it done in Dallas. I think they need not to move on from Dak Prescott, but as long as Dak Prescott is at the helm, I think you're going to continue to see what you've seen the last 8 years Dak Prescott has been quarterback, first round exit in playoffs or just missing the playoffs. And I cannot wait until he proves everyone wrong. That's all I'm going to say. That is all I'm going to say.
All right. Well, we'll close it off.
He's my quarterback.
We'll close it off right there. Obviously, everyone's entitled to their opinions. Who knows what's going to happen this season in the NFL? I think it's a very, very interesting season going into next year. A lot of changes have been made. A lot of people have been moving around. So it's all speculation when it's all said and done. I personally think the Seahawks are winning the Super Bowl, but that's just me. So thank you for coming on the podcast, AJ, and thank you for being a TwoTroubled supporter. We appreciate it. We see all the comments and all the Cowboys love you've been dropping down in their comments. We appreciate it.
Love you, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. Love you too, brother. Have a good one.
All right. See you guys.
All right. Peace.
Wow. The Cowboys' love is really real. I think you guys firsthand have seen. I mean, you see on Instagram, oh, Cowboys fans are the worst. It's their year every year. You saw it firsthand from a Cowboy fan saying that it's their year. He thinks Dak Prescott, after throwing the most interceptions from when he was playing, from like week 5 on, is going to magically take him to this promised land in the Super Bowl. Is the addition of Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks going to push him over the Philadelphia Eagles, who he claimed got worse? I don't think so. I think that's just, division rivalry. He's not going to want to give the Eagles the credit. He's a Cowboy fan.
Of course. Well, this has been Cold Calls on this week's episode of the podcast. Continue to drop your comments, and me and Trav will be scouring down there, finding to see who will be the next caller into the podcast. Yep. With that, let's get back right to the normal scheduled program.
Let's go, baby.
Wow. That was a crazy cold call we just had there.
Crazy
Trav.
Cold call. I love talking to the fans and hearing their opinions, and everyone has their own opinion, and everyone's opinion's different, which is fair. And I like that they can give, some reasons on why they think that it's going to happen. They're not just coming spitting random gibberish.
Yeah,
so I respect it.
We've had some pretty intellectual fans on the past couple of weeks. I like it.
And some of the fans, when we have them on, give hot takes, which is what we're going to give you right now.
That is indeed true. I think you could start us off today with your first hot take.
Yeah, today. If it was today, right now, and I'm the Cowboys, and I'm the Cardinals, and I'm the Vikings, I'm around that tier of quarterback, I would take Caleb Williams over Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, whatever you want to say.
Wow. This is definitely a little bit of a hot take for sure.
Yeah.
Because you just named some pretty decent quarterbacks. Dak, Kyler, and Kirk are not to be overshadowed in the NFL. They have proven themselves as formidable quarterbacks so far. So that's crazy to say that Caleb Williams you would take over these 3 guys, but also I could totally see Caleb Williams being the greatest quarterback out of that draft class for sure.
100%.
And I definitely think he has a higher ceiling than all 3 guys you just named.
I do. I mean, I've seen some outlandish Caleb Williams talk recently on NFL.com. I forget who it was, but somebody said that they would compare Caleb Williams to Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. I don't ever think we're going to see another Patrick Mahomes, nor do I think we'll ever see a Tom Brady, so I think that's a little bit of an outlandish comment. But Caleb Williams, big guy, like muscular,
big frame.
tall, big frame. He has a cannon for an arm, and he can run, but he's a pass first guy. That's what I like about Mahomes. That's what I like about Joe Burrow. They can take off. You know, they don't do it often. Why? Because they keep their eyes downfield, and that's how you get your big plays. You improvise. You go, point your receivers where they want to go, throw the ball downfield. I like Caleb Williams, and I think he's going to be a stud. And I think you've seen what you've had from Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, and that's going to cap you at 13 wins and a first-round playoff exit. So if you can get a guy that you don't really know what he's going to be, but has the higher ceiling like Caleb Williams has, I don't think that that's an outlandish thing to say that I would take him over Dak Prescott.
I definitely don't think it's that outlandish at all. But continuing on the quarterback wavelength that you were just on, Travis, I'm going to sit here and say right here, right now, that Trevor Lawrence will finish as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Whether it be fantasy football or just NFL-wise, I'm taking Trevor Lawrence to be a top 5 quarterback. I think you already saw a glimmer of what he's capable of last year. I mean, not the craziest talent around him. Definitely, solid running back with Travis Etienne. He had Christian Kirk last year, but now he's got Calvin Ridley. I mean, we haven't seen him play with Trevor Lawrence yet on an actual NFL game. So anything could really happen, but something tells me that the electric capability and the big plays from Calvin Ridley is going to be a great pairing with the slot receiver like Christian Kirk, who could just get open, get you consistent targets, and get you consistent yards, I should say. But Trevor Lawrence just is going to have everything he could ever ask for this year, I think. He's got a great receiver 1, a great receiver 2, a running back who could take the ball and run with it, or could be a threat out of the backfield. I really think that Trevor Lawrence has everything he needs to be a top 5 quarterback now, and it's just up to him whether he can succeed in doing so or not.
100%. We finished off last season on a high note, coming back and winning that playoff game versus the Chargers.
Yep.
But as you said and segued it into yours, I'm going to segue back in mine. Sticking on the quarterback wavelength, call it quarterback hot takes or whatever you want to call it. I think that the Cardinals will give up on Kyler Murray at the end of the year. I do. That may be a hot take. They drafted him number 1 overall. He's still a young guy. Decently young. I think he's hitting 25, 26 years old now. But I think the Cardinals are going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
They just traded back in the first round, so they have 2 first-round picks next year. They have Houston's first-round pick. They just drafted Paris Johnson, which Kyler wanted him to draft, which maybe refutes my argument that they're drafting players Kyler wants them to draft. But if you're one of the worst teams in the league and you have a quarterback like this, I think the quarterback's either going to want out or that your team's going to want to, if you were a solid quarterback, you would be getting us more than 3-4 wins a season, no matter who you had. Even if you had DeAndre Hopkins last year and we only got 4 wins, I think that's interesting. I could see Kyler Murray maybe getting traded for 2 first-round picks to a team that wants a quarterback to boost them a little higher. Maybe a team like Seattle.
Yeah.
That, Geno Smith is good and going 10, 11 wins is nice, but maybe Kyler Murray pushes you into that Super Bowl contention. I don't know if the Cardinals will give up, but I think that the Cardinals should give up on Kyler Murray at the end of the year.
I agree. I think they should give up on him. I think the Cardinals, whether you like it or not, I think actually most people would agree with this, but I think the Cardinals are definitely going to be a bottom 5 team. No shadow of a doubt. And if you're going to be a bottom 5 team, you might as well be the worst team in the league, because you'd rather have your selection as whoever the hell you want in that draft. And kind of tying it back to your first hot take, maybe the Cardinals agree with you and they would take Caleb Williams over Kyler Murray right now.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, and I think a lot of it ties back to what the Cardinals did last offseason when they paid Kyler Murray his money, and you need to watch this many hours of film. I've never heard a quarterback in their clause saying you need to watch this many hours of film. That's just a given. That's your job. So I think they've never really been sold on Kyler Murray. I think they may think he's a little bit of a lazier quarterback. So I can see they have 2 shots at the number 1 overall pick. Houston isn't going to be that great. Arizona isn't going to be that great. So I don't know if both of them will be the worst team in the league, but they're definitely fighting for that spot. So they have 2 shots to get the number 1 overall pick. And if you can get it, I think you got to take Caleb Williams. So I think Kyler Murray might be out the door.
Well, I guess it literally is just a quarterback hot takes today, because my last one is also about a quarterback, guys. I'm taking Anthony Richardson to be the offensive rookie of the year this year. Wow. Maybe this isn't too crazy of a hot take. I mean, he was the 3rd quarterback taken off the board, so if you're going to give the offensive rookie of the year award to a player You would think it would be one of the first players taken in the draft, either CJ or Bryce Young, but I'm saying no to CJ. I'm saying no to Bryce Young.
Don't forget about Bijan either.
I'm saying no to Bijan. I'm even saying no to Jackson Smith-Njigba, a guy who I think really does have a shot to maybe win that award. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to Anthony Richardson. I think we've talked about him a couple of times now in some of our fantasy videos. But I think Anthony Richardson has a huge upside. I think his ceiling, literally, we don't know where his ceiling is at right now at the moment. He's an athletic quarterback that could still throw the ball. I mean, he's got an absolute cannon back there. And he could run the ball just as well. He kind of reminds me of a Lamar Jackson. Maybe not as much of the running skills as Lamar has, but also I think he's got a better arm than Lamar. So a little bit of a trade-off there, but I think Anthony Richardson is definitely going to go down as the best quarterback from this draft, and he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year this year.
Yeah, I think this is, if you're going to pick a quarterback to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, it would either be Bryce Young or Anthony Richardson. I just don't think CJ has the talent around him to put up the stats like these two guys have, but I think just strictly based on Anthony Richardson's rushing attempts, I think that he might have a little bit of an easier transition just because he doesn't have to throw the ball 40 times a game. He can run some RPOs with Jonathan Taylor, hand the ball off, makes it a little bit easier for him. So I could see Anthony Richardson winning although I don't think any of these quarterbacks are going to win. I think it's really going to be Bijan. I think it's going to be hard to beat the numbers Bijan Robinson is going to put up in his rookie season.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely could be an argument made for Bijan Robinson to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. But hey, this is hot takes, man. We're giving it to Anthony Richardson around here.
I agree. And that's the end of this podcast. Episode 15 coming to a close. We also need to tell you guys something. It is unfortunate.
Sad news here.
But the podcast is coming to a pause. We want to give you entertaining podcasts. We don't want to just spill information out to just drag along so you guys can watch whatever. I think that it's in our best opportunity to close the podcast just for a month. You'll miss us for a month. YouTube videos still coming out 4 times a week, so it's not like you're going to be missing us. I just think we want to give you up-to-date football content. And with training camp coming up and all that, I think it'd be best hold off a little bit on the news, come back in late August to September, and get right back into football season.
Yeah, but I don't think it is sad news that the pod is coming to an end, but also there's some exciting stuff that's in the works and on the way.
Oh, yeah.
Be on the lookout for some NFL preseason game content coming out, so that could be a little bit of a replacement for you guys for the podcast. And obviously, like Travis said, we're going to have more of these NFL-style videos, NBA-style videos, the 2K rebuilds, fantasy stuff. Yeah. We've got a whole plethora of opportunities opening up 100%. For us here in the next couple weeks. But I think in early September, late September is around late September is when we'll start the pod back up. So be on the lookout. We'll keep you guys up to date.
Right at the start of NFL season, we want to come out with NFL content. We want to ride the NFL season along with you guys. So that's definitely why we're going to bring the podcast back. But we're giving a chance for you guys to get involved in TwoTroubled as well. If you haven't watched the video already, we're doing a TwoTroubled fantasy league. So if you want to get in the fantasy league, be active in the comments. We're going to be picking a couple fans to go join a fantasy league. There will be a prize pot too. We're not going to announce what the prize pot will be. We're going to keep that a secret. But we want you guys to get involved too. And if you want to see videos that us to do, I think you guys should put the comments down below. But as always, and in time, we will return. But as always, cue that outro, baby.